Hello, everybody. I am going to be doing another intuitive Akashic mini session for somebody. I thank all of you who are going to be in attendance or will watch the replay, whether that's here on Instagram, on X Twitter, or on YouTube. The replay will be posted to YouTube later. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. If you are new to my space, to my work, my name is Sarah. I'm an energy work practitioner, an intuitive, a mystic, working with the original divine mother, father of the cosmos. And I function as a conduit for the true Akash. Akasha is a Sanskrit word that means primary substance, and I understand it to be an aspect of the Godhead as part of spirit or as an emanation of the Holy Spirit, to get quite mystical in my terminology. So again, thank you for being here. I wanted to before I jump in to the session for this client today, I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that I am experiencing and seeing being presented kind of across the board in a general way. One that I wrote about the other day actually is a sense that the word collective, or this idea of the collective, needs to be examined more closely. And the reason why is because while there's a collective consciousness or a collective unconsciousness and a collective subconscious, we need to be extremely careful what we're coming into agreement with right now. And as somebody who works with the true Christ, the spirit of the Christ, as embodied and personified by Yeshua, it is the time to divorce ourselves from the things of this world that are causing an increase in significant harm to the ensouled humans of the world. Are you coming into agreement with parasitic systems, with parasitic agents, with extraction? I want you to think very closely about that, or this is an offering for you to leave with deep consideration for extraction, how that shows up in a variety of ways in one's life. Most everybody is familiar with the concept of an energy vampire, whether that be a friend or a family member, perhaps a coworker, maybe a parent. Those are pretty overt and fairly obvious. Some of them can be very coercive and sneaky as well. But typically, if you are in close proximity to someone who others refer to as an energy vampire, you know it. However, what it's time for is it's time for everyone here across the board within the consciousness and spirituality communities, within the communities of spaces that talk about energy, to examine where we ourselves have potentially been extractive. And this is a theme that has come up for me to evaluate and review a couple of different times over the last year and a half. I have been shown significant visioning, and been taken back to watching. I was shown a version of a fall of this world, or one of the falls of this world. There have been many. And it was all about extraction. And while there is always outside interference, there is always interference when a massive human and organically ensouled population comes into agreement with something that causes a further regression or diversion into a denser, less expanded and evolved version of our existence. There is always some kind of outside influence. It's also an opportunity for everybody to examine their own heart And I really, really recommend you do that. Where are you unintentionally extracting? From whom or what and how? Are you living as a steward? Are you walking in authority? And if so, are you using your authority appropriately? Another topic that I'm going to be speaking about at length as directed will be about the concept of the dark goddess or the dark mother. Many of you watching or who will come to catch the replay know that this is something that I'm quite familiar with. I have written about this extensively. There is significant misunderstanding and intentional perversion of what the feminine impulse is. And I keep having it laid on my heart to correct and offer other ways of viewing this. And one, before I jump right into this Akashic session, is I do need to say that dark does not equal bad, though some dark can be bad. So the dark mother, the womb and the tomb, the void of all, is nurturing and nourishing and creation. She is the fertile soil and the mother womb who occasionally becomes the tomb and womb of your rebirth. So these are archetypal energies. And I'm seeing too much from young and uninitiated people that do not have the lived experience I'm a mother of four. I'm in my 40s. I have intensely initiated into this work. The mother impulse, who is the creatress of the sun, the solar impulse, our sovereignty is solar. So feel into that, take that with you. Sovereignty is solar and it was created, it was birthed from the darkness of the womb. So I'll offer that as some, shall we say, mind candy. But if it feels like it's too much for your mind, or you're someone who is still operating from a potentially Abrahamic religious paradigm, it's going to feel very sacrilegious. I know it. But chew on it. Feel into the truth that God, that source, that Amun is the mother, father of the cosmos. These energies are contained therein. It is not just masculine. There is not just a sky daddy. There is a divine and holy father, and he is magnificent and marvelous and gentle and strong, and he is part of totality of the source creator of God, who is also the mother. So that's something where I'm seeing, I wrote yesterday, or I ranted a little bit yesterday on video while I was stomping around my neighborhood on a walk, very messy with bedheaded in my favorite dirty hoodie, about this whole idea of the dark mother or the dark goddess being just sex and blood and the black and red Instagram aesthetic, and it being perpetuated by women who know nothing about creation and dissolution, and that is a problem. Sometimes it is okay to admit that you don't know what you didn't know until you begin to know it. And I'm seeing that on the internet right now. We have an absolute pandemic of people trying to talk, transmit, and charge money for things of which they know very little, and they have not been called into the work. I don't speak on, teach on, transmit on, or do any energy work on anything I have not intensely initiated through myself. And that is something that seems to be missing from a lot of coaching places. And I'm seeing a lot of danger in places that talk about polarity. And I'm seeing a lot of danger in the acceptance of the new age and becoming golden, the golden age, which, if you follow along with my writing, you'll know that I believe that that is all a ploy, a sinister ploy to lull you into sleep and to get people to think that everything is being taken care of and all is well. And we're just going through a little hiccup of a tough time with inflation. And maybe your favorite candidate didn't win, or maybe your favorite candidate did, but it turns out they're not who you thought they were. So I'm going to offer that we are the apocalypse and we are the shift. And it is time for everybody to come into a deeper comprehension in the body, felt sense led by the heart into the body to connect the soul, the spirit, and the mind about what we are really living in, why we are here, why, if you are an ensouled human, you came here, what you are supposed to do and be participating in. Also, I'm going to say that I've already set the container for this session. However, I'm going to declare in complete sovereignty and knowing in whose steps I walk and whose path I'm waymaking, following along any false spirits, energies, entities pretending to be plants or flowers of any kind, rotting and putrid, need to leave this space and return to source for redemption. There will be no admittance. If you need assistance, if you need assistance and you are looking to me for exorcist assistance, you may have the person that you were attached to reach out to me, follow the process and the procedure, which is introductory form, discovery call, and then potentially being accepted into my energy work container for clearing assistance in March. My my energy clearing container is closed to new clients until at least March. I'm only working with individuals that are on my close 2024 clients list for this particular modality at that time. There's been a lot of clowning around, and you clowns know who I'm talking to and about, and an intersection with energies that are pretending to be land spirits or plant spirits on Twitter. I'm seeing it all over the place. And just know that you are seen, and anything that you are trying to direct the way of those who are here to do this work is being identified and transmuted. So with that said, again, thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and shift into doing this Akashic session. I've already set the container. So right now, if I was in a one-on-one session with someone, we would pray together and be discussing goals for the session. However, I've already set the container separately for this and will be simply requesting in both confidence and humility that I receive the blessing of the true and quantum, the true Akash, the primary substance, to access the living, loving web tapestry of consciousness as pertains to today's client. That's what I'm doing within my consciousness right now. And I have received the go-ahead. So what I'm initially seeing is lots of purple and pink, and it almost looks like Candyland, purple and pink. And these color frequencies are feeling Yeah, so there's some clearing needed. There is some clearing needed to clarify these color frequencies that are trying to connect with you. This Candyland feeling is feeling like a saccharine sweet. So I do think that what you're currently being faced, or what you're currently facing, is an opportunity to tear down and release all masks or costumes. I've had a lot of information come in lately about this is the time to stop cosplaying, to stop costuming, to quit masking, um, and to come into true, authentic expression. Um, and to do that for you personally, there is a calling to create more safety for yourself with the reminder, and this is tough, especially for women to hear sometimes, because there is still a cellular desire for to have a man create safety for us, or an anger that a man hasn't stepped up to create safety, or the men who should have been safe, like grandfathers, fathers, uncles, teachers, were not safe. But what the Akashic message is that in order to create this safety for yourself, you're going to have to identify that the only true safety comes from within and from your own connection to God. And work on cultivating a personal, deep, and divine, holy relationship and connection to Source, to God. And that is how you create safety. And you will be able to set some of the overlay or the mask aside, cast it aside. You won't need it anymore. And you will be able to come much more fully into a true and authentic expression of yourself, in which these color frequencies of this purple and the pink can come in as the purple that really represents true sovereignty, and the cosmic solar codes of coming into more of the full expression of your own sovereign soul. The pink is really about compassion and unconditional love. Sometimes pink can mean different things for different people. Very specifically for you, I am hearing that that is what this pink frequency is trying to deliver to you, but you have to do some of this baseline work first in order to receive this compassion. There is a recommendation that whatever your current comprehension of religion or spirituality, whatever your practices are, it is time to commit, commit to something. So, um, this could be committing to 30 minutes of prayer time every morning upon awakening. It could be committing to 10 minutes of journaling 5 times a week, about anything and everything that might be going through your mind or your heart. I'm seeing like what's being asked of you is to commit to whatever practices you're currently doing, but to commit so fully that it's a non-negotiable. This is showing up for yourself. So there's a lack of continuity in showing up for yourself that's coming up as part of what you are masking, that's preventing the full initiation or walking through this threshold portal of this purple and pink energy that is trying to come into a more full and embodied expression of yourself. Hope that that makes sense. So whatever it is, I am a mystic, and I'm also somebody who's very much, if it helps, that works for you, and it's not hurting anybody else, you're not extracting from anyone, you are personally being edified and deepening a connection with the self. It helps you with your inner work, deepening a connection to your understanding of the divine. Do it. For me, my dad is a Lutheran pastor. I was raised by an amazing intersection of Christianity and mysticism. Many of you know about my grandma and my dad. and how it was my grandma's Edgar Casey books that I binge read when I was 9 or 10 years old, and recognized myself in these books and knew that I was going to come into doing this work. I promptly forgot for 30 more years. And then when I remembered, it hit me like a freight train, and I've been fully on the go with it ever since. But this intersection between religion and mysticism, or religion and a true deep experience of what is holy, divine, and sacred, um, is something that has been really beneficial to me. And so often you will find, and this is important for the client as well as anybody who may be watching, whether you're watching live or you're going to catch the replay, what the new age cage will seek to take from you is everything that you had before. And they want to make it, the new age cage is a one world religion. And you do not have to abide by that. You do not have to abide by getting rid of the old and coming into the new, because the new is actually the same old thing. Develop your own mystical, spiritual practice that isn't harming anybody, that is edifying and lifting you up and helping you with your inner work. And if the Akashic is saying, if there are two things you take away from this mini 15 or 20 minutes that we have together, it's this: commit to yourself and commit to a practice or two. I gave the two examples. It could be something else. Those were just two examples. One of mine is still attending church, Lutheran church. Lutherans are amazing people. I grew up at ELCA Lutheran. Lots of love there. I felt like I felt like there was power missing, and I have since found that power within myself and in the indwelling of the Holy Spirit that is missing from most religion. But attending church with my amazing father every so often, typically with one of my children, is part of an uplifting edification process that I am continuing after having put it on hold for a few years while I was figuring out what was doable, right, and good for myself, and where my felt sense and deep knowingness was settling, and what I could compromise with. And to be able to attend church a few times a month with my father, who is now in his mid 70s, who is still pastoring, is a really, really special part of my own significant initiation and practices. And for the client today, I'm hearing that it's really crucial that you look at how these relational connections are important for your growth. For you specifically, there is part of this threshold is going to be a forgiveness. And it is not forgiveness because you're letting somebody who harmed you off the hook. It is forgiveness so you can let yourself off this hook. So you can get down off Erich Kegel's meat hook, or Rish Kegel's meat hook, and rebirth and move on from this pain. And in looking at this, in looking at relationships, especially close family relationships, what I have found helpful and what the Akasha is suggesting would be helpful for you right now is to find where there is common ground. Where is the commonality? Where is the humanity in one another? You may disagree on many points. And over the last 5.5 years or so, 5 years in this world, in this time and space construct, we have had significant division, and the division continues today. Now, I do think there are things that we are to divorce ourselves from. Absolutely. However, other people and our loved ones is not necessarily it. So where is the common ground? So-and-so doesn't believe ABC, they believe XYZ. That's fine. Find something else. See their humanity. Look for the common ground and the desire that people who perceive themselves to be on opposing sides often hold in and of like a vision, a desire and vision for the world. When I zoom out and take the objective, like Akashic or quantum or cosmic view, so often what I find is in this paradoxical realm, because we are paradox as the marriage of spirit and matter. We are paradox. This earth is paradox. But what I find is that things that are clearly in opposition here, one is yes and the other is no. Or one person is saying ABC and the other is saying XYZ. When you zoom out and take an objective view, all of a sudden, you may find that while those two views may contradict one another here from this perspective, from a different, more divine perspective, they're actually both correct for the individual holding that view or that belief or that opinion at the time. So making space for your loved ones, allowing there to be forgiveness within your heart for yourself so that you can come into the color frequencies that are trying to assist your current evolution. Super, super important. Let's see what else is going on. Spending a little bit more time outside as you're able is being recommended. This comes up a lot. If where you are at is very cold right now and that's not super available, one thing that I would recommend is making sure that you are periodically addressing vitamin D levels and doing some alternate grounding activities instead. So if you can't be outside working on grounding and earthing, um, perhaps you can take a salt bath and very intentionally ground while you are bathing. And the water actually assists with grounding, very much so. In fact, I feel like grounding or centering in the water is faster and more effective than just grounding on the earth. So that's an option. Another option is actually getting like a Rubbermaid tub of soil or sand and using that periodically. Put your feet in it. Use that periodically throughout these colder months. I am seeing that these free radicals do need to be released and being very intentional about that. Addressing any absorption issues feels like, from a physical health standpoint, that is a recommendation. So looking at gut health and absorption and how do I say this without YouTube wanting to suppress this? Okay. I will recommend deciding right now, you're young, that you revoke consent to autoimmunity developing within your genetic expression, within your code, within your body, and then doing the necessary mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical work to carry that through. Revoke consent to the development of autoimmunity now and be very, very intentional and serious about it. And there will be nothing to fear or be concerned about. There are things that are coming up from a physical standpoint that are asking to be looked at and optimized, and you can do all of this without hyper obsessing about it. You don't have to be totally focused on food, wellness, health, nutrition all the time. These are tweaks that you can make for yourself, because again, there is no separation. We are spirit and matter at all times, both simultaneously, paradoxically. So when you are focusing on the physical body, you are treating yourself spiritually as well. Energy into form, energy into form. Deal with the energy and the spirit of a thing before it fully creates into the physical form. And this is a lot of what I do in my offerings, in assisting people. with energetic things, energetic parasites, um, wellness optimization. And this is kind of where your focus should be directed really during this, let's just say through, this is going, working on implementing these new things through about mid-April. I'm hearing something about the length of time it takes to create a new habit. So I'm getting like, what would that be? Is that for 2 months, a little over 2 months? Be really intentional for the next few months about implementing whatever health changes or wellness optimization changes you're going to be employing, and be very like mindful, like they're on your schedule. Maybe you set an alarm to take whatever is going to help you with absorption. Maybe you see an integrative practitioner or a naturopath, and work on tweaking some of those things. And you're very, like, it really has a place in your calendar over the next couple of months. And then by about mid-April, for you, and hearing these new things that you add will feel like second nature, and will work quite well as part of your daily routine or daily schedule. Um, let's see, there is a sisterhood wounding that I am seeing. Be aware that the sisterhood wound runs deep, and it is true that there are many who have identified it and will come into the maturity of woman and be able to meet you in a mature and authentic way. However, I would say that since this particular wounding is presenting from something that went on with your actual biological sister, and this is a, shall we say, uh, frequent pattern that the two of you have experienced, before, what I'm being shown is before it looks like you're going to be in situations in which you develop mature and trustworthy friendships that help soothe the sister wound, you're going to have to deal with setting parameters and boundaries and doing some healing both within and then within the container of the relationship with your sister. Her very important that you not take on anything that should be her responsibility in this. So you can decide what it is that you feel comfortable in offering in healing or repairing connection, but be really clear that the ways that she has caused harm to you aren't, don't take on the burden of clearing that for her. This should be kind of a reciprocal thing. If she is not yet able to reciprocate or not willing, working within yourself and in your relationship with the divine or with God's source, is going to go a long way toward you having a readiness if and when she develops a readiness. I'm seeing that it's very likely that there's been some theft of money from you or perhaps parents and grandparents to bolster an addiction. So like I'm seeing the threads, and I know that there is a lot of pain and anger associated with that. I am being asked to remind you that addiction is both a very serious disease and one of the most intense initiations an organic ensouled human plans or is slammed into in this incarnation. And I'm not reminding you of this to make an excuse for your sister or loved one who's hurt you, but to help shift perspective that there are lessons and intense lessons and initiations regarding this pattern and this addiction that are affecting not just you but others and her most intensely. And the reason addiction is one of the most intense initiations a human can experience is because many of us die from it. And there's no guarantee that you successfully navigate through that initiation and out the other side into a life that is healthy and clean, and in which you have learned what you experience, what you came to learn through that initiatory pathway. So just wanted to offer that slight reframe and know that it doesn't erase the pain that she has caused you. It is, however, worth some consideration. And yes, I am to share that you may need to consider custodial arrangements for your nephew between now and the time he turns 5. So that came in super, super clearly. I want to offer that. Let's see. I think I think we're at time for this portion of the mini Akashic session for this individual. I'm just feeling into see if there's anything else. Really reiterating the messaging from Spirit is really reiterating that you are in a season and time of beginning to dissolve the masks and the cosplaying that you've been doing and come into a comfort of being able to express your whole authentic self. And if you don't know who you are, there is plenty of loving, true angelic, divine guidance that will walk with you to discover yourself. So anyway, thank you so much. I'm closing that portion. I'm closing or bringing my focus of attention and awareness away from the Akashic chamber or weaving for that particular client. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to those of you who will watch this tomorrow or in 3 days on YouTube or rewatch on Twitter and Instagram. I am grateful for you. This month, February, I am only offering, I'm doing some back-end stuff and some admin stuff, and also have some increased time commitments and scheduling stuff with my children. So my offerings have been pared back for February. I'm only offering a full range of my Akashic work this month. And then I'm also offering intuitive guidance conversations with me. Those are 45 minutes. Akashic sessions are usually an hour. These are minis. There is information on all my platforms right now available about how you can connect with me for either a private one-on-one Akashic session. I offer those on video for a little bit less. They can be audio only. I do pre-recorded ones that are like minis. And then I also do these as well. So Akashic, intuitive guidance conversation. And then I have time in later February for 1 to 2 more Beyond Quantum Healing consciousness exploration sessions. Those are longer. They're about 3 hours. I currently am only offering 1 per week and am full till the end of the month. But if you would like to connect for one of those, I invite you guys to check out my YouTube channel where I do have some Akashic segments as well as some DQH segments posted. Depth quantum clearing will likely return in March, as will a number of other offerings and packages. So if you'd like to work with me, I would be thrilled to hear from you. You are welcome to shoot me an email to request more information in working together. Sarah Descending at proton.me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.